How's everyone doing? That shouldn't be there right by the stand. That's not a good idea. David the Hug Monster, Isomatic, Lucas, Build Your Dreams, Marked for Deletion, Tyblee, Suffist, Tilda Sounds. How's everyone doing today? It's been a while. Had an eventful couple of weeks. Daniel Harvey, how's it going? I'm thinking of doing something chill, something like OTT, well, not OTT, art or whatever it is, or something like Spangle art type vibe today. There's a couple of things that I want to look at as well. Firstly, this sound that you're hearing is it's like a free instrument just a simple instrument that I recorded off one of my flutes. Made it into a decent sampler instrument, and that's free on my store. The link should be in the description. I don't know enough about Botanica to just like pull off a track. You know what I mean? To be honest, like I don't listen to too much current stuff. I should. So some of the things that I want to look at today. The Addictive drums too. Not just because it's been a while, but they recently put out an update, which is a free update to all Addictive Drums 2 owners. It seems pretty cool. Some much needed UI updates. So we're gonna look at some of that stuff today. What was the other thing? Sumu. This thing, oh my gosh. This thing is crazy. This thing is absolutely crazy. It's like a wavetable synth meets additive synth. I guess Zebralet 3 was kind of a little bit like that, but this is different in the fact that you actually have like individual control over the overtones. So like each of the wavetables, like this represents like the different spectrums and that kind of thing. So it's pretty wild. But for vocal textures and stuff, you can get some really cool stuff with that. So I think this could be cool. Have a look at some of that stuff today. Still in beta. What's that? Sumu? I don't know. Was it? I think this is the final version. 1.0. Another really cool thing about this is the way the LFOs work. So you see these little moving dots here. That's basically like the LFOs are per band. So you can kind of slow it down for the low frequencies or speed it up for the high frequencies. So it's kind of like a spectral LFO or spectral envelope, which is pretty crazy. But like I've only begun to kind of explore this, so I figured it might be cool to kind of what would be the right word, to kind of bash my way through that live. Considering I have no experience with it whatsoever, that could be fun. There's a couple of other things that I also wanted to look at, but I'll definitely remember those as we go on. Hey, what's up? Anybody else who's tuning in? Igor, Tyblee, Gilf, how's everyone doing today? Let's see. How should we start things? Should we start things off with like a beat? I've also made like a rack here with a bunch of my favorite like UVI World Suite percussive things, and each one is linked to a different MIDI channel, just so it's really easy to kind of like put the channel on and then just kind of like just start auditioning different sounds based on what the MIDI channel is. Do you know what I mean? So instead of like running through like every single preset trying to find the one, it's like just a bunch of my favorites, and then I just choose the MIDI track to kind of get going, you know? Speeds things up quite a bit. We can also set this to note channels, and then the different channels will display as different colors, so it's a little bit easier to see what's going on. And there's like a component app that you can get aside from Sumu, which allows you to actually build your own wavetables for it, where you can kind of map the partials and stuff. It's not in the actual plugin because it requires offline processing and stuff. But it's like a free thing as part of it. This like reverb system is also like insane. It kind of allows you to map the partials X, Y, and Z also based on the spectrum. So it's not quite a reverb, it's more just like a weird room synthesis kind of thing. Everything in this plugin is absolutely wild. Like, it uses this kind of partials mapping system to play an FM synth, which you can then modulate different voices within each other. So like, just that alone, you can create some wild stuff, right? And then there's this spectral envelopes, spectral LFOs thing, this like reverbs thing. It's all just so well thought out because it's like completely different, like stuff that I've seen before. What the fuck? That's a factory preset, dude. What the fuck? Jesus, I mean, I've never heard anything quite like it. It's kind of hard to explain, like, what actually is going on there, like, in terms of synthesis. Do you know what I mean? It's like so wild. Let's build a car. Can I do MPE? Good question. Let's see. Bend 24, MPE 24. I think it can do up to 8 voices, but this thing it's not very forgiving on the CPU. Let's just put it that way. Okay, let's just see. Damn, that sounds sick, eh? It's so wild, like tonally. I guess it's because it's doing those harmonics that, like, you know, like a wavetable synth is generally like in the harmonic series. Do you know what I mean? It's like the ratios of 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Whereas the reason that this has this kind of thing is you're doing partials that are outside of that range. Do you know what I mean? So you can hit tones that like don't exist in other synths, you know, or other subtractive wavetables and that kind of stuff. I don't think it quite is doing MPE unless we have to actually set up something here. Input. How do we... I probably do have to read the manual at some point. Nope. Nope. Hey, how cool is that? It's a spectral scope that you can patch from anywhere. So you can see, like, what is the pitch output doing on a spectral level. How sick is that? I wonder if we can zoom in. Okay, no, it's just different modes. So that'd be sick, like, kind of visualizer, do you know what I mean? Yeah, that's crazy. You can pitch or send like the amp and pitch output of these spectrums to like the reverb parameters. That's crazy. There we go again. Track from scratch, like 30 minutes into just wiggling whip whoop whip whoops out of one plugin. Hey. Hey Zenline, how's it going? Okay. So there was something I was doing with this the other day where I kind of just picked one of these vocal presets and then just like froze it, and then it was doing something really cool.
After all this,
Jeez, that sounds like some Hans Zimmer type thing. Yeah, big things coming soon, folks. Just as soon as I finish this patch. Yo, what's up, Adam? No, there's no extra processing. These are just straight out the plugin. And then oh wait, I haven't even added any Addictive drums yet. It's all just straight out the plugin. Hey, what's up, half god, half beast? Off-topic question, Lucas. Do you still use Teote? It's strange, like that video suddenly just like started getting views again. Was it like, is it on special somewhere or something? Is that why you're asking? To be honest, I don't use it much since I got Soothe, but I still think it's pretty good at what it does because it is quite different to Soothe. Do you know what I mean? That being said, is you can kind of set Soothe up to do the opposite. Do you know what I mean? Because Teote can kind of boost and reduce based on what you do, whereas Soothe is kind of mainly focused on reducing it, but you can kind of use it a bit counterintuitively to boost as well. Do you know what I mean? But most of the time I'm reducing. So Soothe is like, for me, just it's in my workflow much. So I don't use Teote all that much, to be honest. But it's funny you ask because I suddenly noticed like a spike in that video again. Probably, hey. It happens like the videos kind of go in like yearly or 2 yearly cycles. So like often like the year after I've posted a video, suddenly it like poof, hits again. And often it's like every time an update comes out for things. So for example, like an update for Hive was recently released, and then the views of all my Hive stuff went up quite a bit, which is cool. maybe put in like a string or something just to start adding, and maybe pick a key, because I haven't really, it's still like in C, so maybe we can pick a key that's going to work a little bit better. But let's just see. Less so Psy music, thank you, bro. Why does the sitar sound out of key? I think somehow it picked up some mod wheel, so it was like slightly in between F sharp and G or something. I don't know. It still kind of sounds a bit weird to me, but I'm gonna just see how it goes. I like the sound of it, but it just sounds a bit. You know, maybe it's the drone, because Sumu does have all that weird partials and stuff. You know. You know what could be pretty cool is like a chord and then like a dub delay. Do you know what I mean? Like kind of traditional instruments, but with like a sort of modern dub twist. That could be pretty cool if we're going for that art vibe. Let's see. You're right. Sitars do have that like sympathetic strings, so it could be just that this note is not a good note for the sitar. So maybe let's audition with like a different note. Let's just go like one up. Sounds a bit better. The tambura is usually like the low drone. We can maybe duplicate that sitar and have a tambura as well playing that same one. But yes, something like, it'll be under fretted, I guess. Sitar doing those chords could be pretty cool. Staccato. Hey, Reactor B, how you doing, dude? Maybe like a bend at the end here could be cool. Woo. Yes. I need a tea refill though, guys. I'm running out of tea. So I'm going to have to let this loop for just 2 minutes while the kettle boils. But we're going to put in a drum beat and we're going to start arranging things. I want to try at least get like an A section, a B section, and a breakdown in the stream. We can kind of work a little bit on the mix. I want to try to get like most of a track done. I said that and then ended up fiddling around in one VST for like an hour, but it happens. Yeah, so just give me 2 minutes, folks. Something still feels a little bit out of key, and I suspect that it's the drone actually. up, everyone who just joined? Ari, Keith, Ingo, how's it going? Trippy technology. Let's do some drums. I want to try find like a relatively clean sounding. Sounds good. Do you mean the drums that are like doop? It's they're called udus. It's like a ceramic drum. a little bit of that like jungle. Yeah, we should change it up a little bit because it kind of repeats a bit too many times here. So we can maybe do like a... Hey, Eat, how you doing, dude? Long time. With the toms, what I often like to do, we can use this opportunity to have a look at like the new editors and stuff. Usually what I'll try to do is jump in and edit the toms, because often they will be too boomy, and we can kind of go in and just like edit the volume envelopes here, which is pretty cool. I really dig the new editors that they built. Well, actually the editors are kind of the same, but the way that they've revamped the interface kind of makes a big difference. Also, the EQ is so much easier to read now. Where the toms at? Oh, that's nice. It makes it so much quicker. Oh, stay down. Do you use plugins a lot? What are your PC specs? Yes. Some of the plugins that I use, actually, like Sumu, for example, it's pretty ridiculous with the CPU and stuff. But also, like, I'm also busy streaming HD, so like my computer does generally take a bit of a beating during the streams. But yeah, I'm quite... even though like my PC is quite a beast, I still run a high sample rate and stuff because my projects are usually just full of stuff. I don't like to ever reach that point where it's like you're hitting a block. Do you know what I mean? I actually don't believe there is a way to import sounds yet. It kind of sucks. But I mean, like, let's be honest, like, every DAW has a built-in drum rack, so when we're doing this, it's more to get that kind of realistic vibe. Do you know what I mean? Or at least that's just the way I use it. Do you know what I mean? Stylus. Yo, when last, hey? I think Stylus is more like Dr. Rex, where it takes loops and it chops those up. Whereas this is more like multi-samples of each drum. Do you know what I mean? It's more supposed to be like a realistic drum VST as opposed to something that you work with loops with. You know what I mean? Should probably save. It's probably a good idea. 11/11. Can you believe it? The room sends. Hey, I usually mute the room sends in 82. Yeah, I guess it depends. If you're wanting like a realistic kind of roomy drum sound, then it can help to leave them in. But if you want a tighter sound that you're going to process later, absolutely you're right. Yeah, I also end up either sending all the separates or yeah, or doing that, just removing the send channels. I hope Bitwig still gets a grown user base now that Cubase tries to copy it with modulators, etc. It will happen. It will happen. You know what we need is we need something that's like super synthy and super like digital, like because a lot of the stuff that we have in here is very organic. Definitely helps to kind of like use something very synthetic to kind of like juxtapose or to help those elements stand out, to give them contrast, you know what I mean? from Addictive Drums too. A flute sound. Hey, now we are talking, brother. Don't even get me started. What's in that tea today? You would think something special, right? It's ginger, honey, and lemon. Thanks, guys. Thanks. Appreciate it. Don't forget the like button, by the way. It's always a good way of letting me know and letting YouTube know that you like it. Yeah, crazy vocal stuff. That was actually the idea before this whole drone situation started over here. And so let's maybe just bounce this and then try again. How's that? Did you see that? For anybody who's still like on the fence about Bitwig, we had a crash and a recover. Within a minute, we poof, poof, back to normal. Insane. And nothing was lost. That's pretty cool. Staden is saying this is a perfect example of just needing a keyboard and a mouse and a MIDI controller and some speakers and a sound card. Let's not kid ourselves. Like, I also got a shit ton of gear that but yeah, I don't like flash it and show it off because like I feel like a lot of the time, especially people that are just getting into this thing, they have this like unrealistic expectation of like how much gear you need and like what you need. And like every time a new thing comes out, they're like, you need this and you need this. And like the industry's constantly telling people you need. So like, I appreciate when people say like, oh, this is a good example of just needing the keyboard and the mouse, because that's like, I think the most important message, just do the thing. Don't let certain gear, like not having certain things hold you back, you know what I mean? Just like have fun and do the thing, because eventually it'll pay off and you will start getting the gear, and you know what I mean? Oh yeah, let's maybe just start up with like a basic patch, and then we can load up one of the vocal sounds here. I think that's how I did it. Yeah, I think this is how I did it, and then I loaded up one of these. Huh. That's pretty sick. But to be fair, like you actually don't really need a MIDI keyboard, because I only just use it for fun. Like the way I actually make music, I'll just like mess around, and then I'll be like, okay, time to actually do the thing, and then I'll always put the notes in with the mouse. It's a weird habit that's come from making music before I had a MIDI controller. Do you know what I mean? But also, I find when I play the stuff in, I always end up editing it afterwards. So I just cut out the first part and just edit it straight in. Does that make sense? And I kind of play to get a sense of like what's sound is happening. Do you know what I mean? But like with Bitwig, I don't know if you folks know this, but if you hit caps lock, your keyboard turns into a keyboard. From A is C all the way up to H, I think. No, J. No, K. Huh? Oh, well, L is an extra note, but A and K are basically the octaves. Or you can even hit this button here and actually just play the stuff. And this is pretty cool because if you have some kind of touch screen, you can use this as like an NPE thing. You can kind of bend between notes. Pretty cool, eh? This plugin is paid, unfortunately, and it's not cheap. It's pretty expensive. But yo, it's insane. It's insane. Holy shit, that is sick. That is sick. It sounds so real, like a voice. Obviously, still very synthetic, but just the amount of like different textures and stuff in there, it's unreal. Damn. Greedo, how you doing, dude? And Cryptout, and everybody else joining us. Dude, that is crazy. I reckon even just like a single note, and then maybe some bends, and then playing with that mod wheel to do that spinny reverb trick thing. Just that, with a gate on it or something, could be really, really cool. You know what might be really awesome is to set the bend something low, like just one, because then we can slowly like bend up and down, like to try get it almost organic, you know what I mean? The reverb I'm using is Supermassive by Valhalla, that's free. you know what? I was also thinking something similar. And you know what my favorite way of doing that is to like take a chunk of the audio. Let's just take a bigger piece so we've got more stuff to choose from if we decide to do so. Obviously, I want to take the gate and stuff off. And then we can bounce. And then we throw it into a sampler. And then with a sampler, you can play with the speed of the sample. And that way you get a much more realistic kind of scratchy effect. And then we put the gate on after that to kind of act as like the crossfader. Do you know what I mean? So you can go like do, 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 do. And then the gate is like cutting it in time. Yeah, I was thinking just that. But like the pitch bends, because it's a synth, it has all the effects and everything and it's different oscillators. So the pitch bends are kind of smeared a little bit. So if we render it and put it into a sampler, and then instead of pitch, we use the speed control, then we'll get some really cool kind of like record scratchy type effects. Sampler. Let's just go with a 1 for now. Just mute that. What I also like to do is set up a random and then set this to trigger note. And then we can freeze it. And then here we set this to the play position. Because then it'll always give us like a different little part of the thing, right? Now watch this. So let's set up a envelope, what is it called? A segments. And then here, what we want to do is we want to set up a thing like this, right? In fact, this must be the last note. And then what we want to do is, this is the amount, right? Yeah, okay, cool. Set this to the speed. This must be on just one shot mode. And then what we do is we set up a modulation with the steps. And then that's going to turn that envelope on and off. So we can kind of sequence it. Huh? Oh, it must be minus 100%. Because then it stops completely. And we can play with this curve as well to get like different sounds. Usually you get more of a record scratchy effect this way. Do you know what I mean? Okay, now we use the steps. Set this to 16ths. Oh, it's going to follow the transport like this. And then this modulation is going to turn this on basically. And then we just randomize it a few times. Maybe we can just go like draw in a couple of hits this way manually. Actually, that's cooler than doing it with a trance gate. We can kind of just cut the notes shorter because then we have a bit more control. Do you know what I mean? Okay, I need to get a refill and run to the bathroom real quick. Let me loop this. I'll be back. Less than 2 minutes. I'll see you guys shortly. Okay, let's make another part here. Yes. Somebody was saying the flute things. I'm going to talk about this thing again because it's free. Decent Sampler, right? And this is an instrument that I made for Decent Sampler. In it. That's also free on my store below. It's pretty simple, but I think like the sort of thing that is the coolest thing about it is that there's what's called scripted legato. So when you play one note and then the next note, it kind of like, it doesn't bend, it kind of like blends the notes. So it's still mono, but it kind of like blends the notes as opposed to like portamento, do you know what I mean? Oh wait, the mic is on. Oopsie. I'm working on a library. Blowing my damn lungs out, bro. uh, it's always fun, like, recording these because, like, you've got to record, like, a bunch of notes to do, like, the velocity tracking. So, like, you're sitting and just, like, for, like, 20 seconds and then again for, like, 20 seconds. And you come out the studio with, like, a lightheaded, feeling lightheaded, do you know what I mean? So you got to like meditate with like heavy breathing. But yeah, I'm actually working on a big library with like a bunch of my flutes. I'm actually I'm learning to play the bansuri, which is like pretty fucking hard. Let me actually show you something cool about it though. So like with all the other ones, you've got to like blow it, like with the old school traditional flute, you've got to like blow them this way, right? But then with the bansuri, you've got to like blow it sideways, like a European style silver flute, right? But that means you can like beatbox because your mouth is still free, right? So what could be really cool is to like beatbox while playing the flute. That takes practice though. But this has been like really fun to learn because it's like the next level in terms of like the breathing and stuff, you know? And you can like much easily jump between octaves and stuff. So that's been fun. But like I can't remember what notes are what. So wait, I wonder if there's even a G here. Yeah, that's it, dude. That's it. Krishna's flute, dude. Oh wait, it was Shiva, I think, actually, isn't it? Shiva was the one with the flute. We had the many arms and the flute. I'm destroying history. This one's in C, so I can't actually play any G's. I mean, like, we could do a key change, but also, like, I'm struggling to actually play the thing. But yeah, like I said, what I'm doing is, like, recording it note by note and making, like, instrument libraries, you know what I mean? Well, that's also the cool thing about this style of flute is that you've got a little bit more range. It's much harder to play than those other ones, the forward ones. But you've got a lot more range, so you can do like 3 octaves, and they're kind of like they have a good intonation, whereas with the other ones, the octaves are kind of off a bit, you know? So you can only really play like one octave at a time. We could record in some stuff and then pitch it. But then the best way to do that would be like in granular, some kind of granular stuff. Do you know what I mean? You know, maybe we could just like tune the whole track differently just to play something alongside it. But I mean, that would be a bit counterintuitive because we've like started bouncing stuff and do you know what I mean? Also just use something like UVI. Also, UVI Workstation's got a bunch of really cool stuff. But then also, I wonder if this will work. I'm basically working on a bunch of like physical modeled stuff in Phase Plant. This one I'm pretty stoked about this one. That's quite nice, deep. That's one of the cool things, I guess, about like physical modeling stuff is you can kind of go much lower than the intended range, so we can turn that into like a Brahm. haven't actually downloaded the companion app for Sumu to be able to like import the stuff. Do you know what I mean? I think here we should maybe like change up quite a bit, like remove quite a few of the things. that note is wrong, but it just sounds right. Pretty cool. We could perhaps even use some kind of alternative tuning here. Let's just see how it works. 12 Omni MPE 12. With the alternative tunings though, then that note doesn't quite work as well. Huh, that's weird. I wonder why I didn't tune it. Maybe that's why it didn't sound quite right. let's put in like a blatant psytrance type lead. I think that could work well here. This type of string instrument that's playing here is called a santur. It's kind of like that. I guess the Indian style of a dulcimer, which is like the oblivion thing. You know, you play it with little spoons. It's like a harp that you play with spoons. Let's bounce this, because then we can make like a kind of breakdown-y type thing. We can move this stuff along a bit. This could drop nicely into drum and bass. We're not gonna do it though. Resist. I'm trying to like resist, because I mean, like, when producing music, it's, I don't want to say it's like the easy choice to just like double time or, you know, flip the genre, or do you know what I mean? Or like make a XYZ drop, or, you know, but like I'm trying to break away from that and focus more on like the elements in the music doing the things, being the function of the music, not the little tricks and that kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean? I guess it's coming from somebody who's been relying so hard on the tricks. Do you know what I mean? For so long, that I'm trying to like step out of that. You know, trying to be a little bit more creative in terms of the raw elements. Do you know what I mean? And not just like, oh, it's a halftime. No, it's a drum and bass. No, it's the, you know, because I mean, like, that stuff is sick, but like, I think the true groove is like beyond that. Do you know what I mean? Is when you can listen to that like droning kind of thing for like, and like really get into it. Do you know what I mean? But like I said, it's tough because like every time I hear it, I'm like, yo, I could just do a sick drop. Anyway, I gotta be right back. I'll run to the bathroom real quick, and then maybe what we can do. Yeah, I think like a lot of people also focus on like just making like one loop and then just changing the that thing. Do you know what I mean? And not focusing on like developing the story of the track. You know what I mean? It's just like it's a loop going, double time, half time, breakdown, double time, half time, breakdown, track finished. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I'm gonna be right back. That's actually a good question. Isomatic, do you have any tips to focus more on the elements that you mentioned? I think it's like a good idea is to kind of like set up quite strict boundaries when you're making music, but not in terms of like the creativity. So, for example, one thing that's very powerful is to say like, I'm only going to have like 5 channels or 10 channels or whatever the case is, but then stick to that. Be like, I'm only going to use this synth, and then stick to that. And then what you end up doing is trying to kind of make the most of each of those bits. And then you learn little kind of musical tricks and that kind of thing. So that's one thing. Another thing is to learn some kind of instrument. Do you know what I mean? Like piano or even drums, because then you kind of learn about fills and little mini grooves and that kind of thing. So learning an instrument will help you to imagine stuff on your instrument. So, for example, like if you're good at piano and you're listening to a drum beat, maybe in your head you might hear a piano melody and then kind of start building on that. So I guess the key to like a key to a healthy imagination is to treat it kind of like a muscle, and exercise it, stretch your imagination. And that way you yeah, man. I don't know, what's the usual with the Black Friday stuff? When do the people usually start? Because like, I don't know. I've also got something that I'm working on. I'm trying to finish for Black Friday before I do like all the specials and stuff. So I'm kind of hurrying to kind of get that sorted. Always hear stuff and other elements that could be added to music when listening to your streams. Love if I telepathically could send what I hear in my mind to your mind. Maybe one day we could do like a community collab stream where we like connect on Discord, and then you guys just give me like ideas and we run with it. That could be pretty chaotic, but fun. Yeah, so doing exercises like that, like saying like, okay, I'm only going to use a drum beat and one instrument, like a drum beat and a piano, for example. Then you're basically like exercising your imagination to do things that you would usually rely on multiple things for. Do you know what I mean? So one example is risers. Every electronic music genre kind of needs some kind of riser to create that tension at the end of the bar, right? And say, for example, if we had every sample pack under the sun and we had splice. This is actually one of the reasons why I don't have splice, by the way, is because it's so easy to just be like, pull up splice, find a riser, and then you sit just clicking down to find the riser, rather than being like, I only have a piano. How do I make a riser out of a piano sound? And the simple answer is just reversing it. And a reversed piano note sounds really nice. In my opinion, it actually sounds better than an actual piano itself. So often what I'll do is I won't even use a full piano, just one note, reverse it, and use that as a riser, And I picked that idea up from limiting myself to I'm going to be like, okay, make a track with just a drum beat and just a piano. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, learning an instrument can help to stretch your imagination because you're practicing that instrument and you're learning little melodies and licks and that kind of stuff. But then you're also learning to make the most out of that instrument. So for example, like with the flute or whatever, like I was explaining earlier, like imagine beatboxing through the flute, or making a beat with the thing. And another cool idea would be to either take your phone with a voice recorder or get something like a Zoom handheld recorder, and one day set like one session aside where it's like, today I'm going to record a bunch of sounds, and then I'm going to make a track only using those sounds, right? So you're going to record a sound that sounds like a kick. You've got to record a sound that sounds like a snare. And then you've got to process those in such a way that it's going to sound like that, right? And in doing that, again, you're kind of like doing that imagination exercise where you're learning to be like, oh, wait, I can turn this sound into a kick, or I can turn this sound into a snare, or that kind of thing. Or, you know, you're learning these little things about how to make the most of each element. But again, it's at the end of the day, it's about the workflow. Like when you're in the moment, to be like, not be tempted to just fall back to old habits, you know. And again, that's why I don't have stuff like Splice, because I really try not to imagine. Oh yeah, I've seen streams like this, which is just a guy like, imagine that for 4 hours, you know what I mean? Just cycling through snare drums, you know. I've seen that shit before. But like, not only is it boring for you guys, but it's like, it's boring for me. So I'm going to start getting bored, and then that creative juice is going to start sapping. So instead of like going through a sample pack and trying to find the 100 samples that might work for the track, try make them in the moment, or think outside the box, or that kind of thing. Timing challenges is also a really good one. So it'd be like 30 minutes, make a beat, or 1 hour, make a beat, because then you're learning to be more decisive, and that kind of forces you to not go through your sample library, and it forces you to not like go back. Well, okay, maybe you'll kind of go use a bit of old habits, but you know, when there's that time crunch, you start to be a little bit more quick with things. So instead of a riser, you'll use a reverser of something that's in the track or whatever like that. So yeah, just like practice. That's the best way, I think, to do anything, really. Should we mess around with some flutes? I've actually still got a mic set up here, up top, which I think still linked up, because I was recording some stuff earlier. So we could potentially take a beat, just loop it, maybe mess around with some stuff on top. Let's put in a bass as well, because that's kind of just a root note, right? Let's find these percussion things. I actually don't know if it will be in sync now that I'm thinking about it. But let's just try. There's a low frequency in here. What? I'm hearing a reverb on my voice. What's going on? Oh, it's because that mic. 1, 2. Strange. Oh, okay, I see what's going on. Anyway, you guys can't hear reverb on my voice, right? The beat is from Addictive drums, but there's some kind of low frequency happening here that's causing nonsense. So I actually want to... It's so weird listening to myself while talking. I know some people do that while they're streaming, but like, whew, so weird. Oh, oopsie. I reckon I've got to just move this mic a bit closer. Do you guys hear that? So remember what I was saying earlier about the riser. There we go. There's our riser. We can even like chop this up and make like infinite loops out of this, you know? The transverse flute means it's sideways. It's like this one, the bansuri. Yo, I got it. It's the problem with these instruments, specifically the transverse, is you got to be so serious because you got to like keep your lips completely straight. The minute you smile or like start giggling, it's over. Yes, it means sideways. So like these style ones, or like the silver flutes. You know, those kind of more European ones. Anything that's sideways like that is a transverse flute. That's pretty cool, those kind of like blown harmonics. Yeah, for recording, yeah. I actually should be using the other headphones because these have a bit of bleed, but it's whatever. I prefer the sound of these ones. a sec there. You can hear my chair squeak. Okay, folks. I think that's where I'm going to leave it for today. I'm hearing. Okay, that'll be the best way to not hear reverb on my voice. Okay, folks. I think that's where I'm going to leave it for today. How will we go about... You know what? Okay, no, give me a few more minutes. We're going to just granularize some of this stuff real quick. I'm not leaving it there, folks. I can't. For example, the stuff is in a different key. One of the coolest ways to quickly get this in the key that we want is to use something like a granular thing, right? And then let's just drag that loop. So that was in C. So if we just take this and drop it here and say load as granular and leave it as a C, then we can use this to repitch it to whatever the pitch is that we were working with before. Do you know what I mean? So here we can kind of just duplicate this a few times and take a couple of these layers. Like this is just that like little riser thing that we did, bounce in place. This we could probably just stretch the sample. Where's we got to do it here. Bounce in place. We could probably just stretch the sample, but it's super easy to do it this way. And then just drag it in here. See, cool, that's done. And we even have this melody as well. And we even have the long droning note. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, open that one. Pop in the droning note. Okay, so if we jump back to this, right, and then shift the things that we shifted off key back in key. So these, I think we were working in 7 before. Now we should be able to... Hey, Stone Metal, I'm actually just about to head out. Like, just finishing off this last thing. But thank you for tuning in, regardless. So here, if we tune these to G, we can like granularize them and make nice little like rhythmic textures out of that kind of thing. That is so sick. Yes, just drown it out in drums. No, I wasn't meant to do that. Okay, folks. I think that's what I'm going to call it. That's what I'm going to call it for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. That was really fun. That was really, really fun. Hey, thanks, Davey. Appreciate that. Yeah, never stop learning. Exactly. When you feel like you're mastering one thing, find something that's completely foreign to you and start learning that. Because, like, I think that's also, like, going back to that point from earlier. I think Isomatic asked that question about how to make the most of individual elements and that kind of thing, or tricks that I would use to do that. Just keep learning, because inspiration can come from anywhere, as long as you're stretching your imagination, learning or practicing being creative. I think that's the most important thing. So yeah, keep at it. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I hope you have a super productive week ahead and weekend, etc. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys very soon. And I've got lots of stuff in the pipeline, exciting things. Yeah, in the wooden pipe. Anyway, I'm going to let this loop once or twice for those who want to stick around and have a listen to what we made. Otherwise, thank you, everyone. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.